For a while, we've been getting the promise of AI-generated websites, but there's always one key problem, and that is when you build a website with AI, a lot of times it's very difficult to manage your website. You don't have a lot of editing tools, you don't have access to a lot of resources, and because of that, a lot of people still end up using WordPress, which powers 43% of the internet, has tons of integrations, tons of plugins. SEO is fantastic. You can rank on Google. You can show up in ChatGPT. There's so many options with WordPress. So that is like, all right, it's 2025 and you still have to learn how to do everything in WordPress. Well, not anymore. So in this video, I want to show you how to use a brand new platform that is just rolling out right now. I've been using it since the beta, and it's called Vibe for WordPress. It essentially allows you to use AI to create the website on WordPress. So you get all of the benefits of WordPress, all of the resources, all of the versatility, all of the power of WordPress, but all of the ease of use of AI to build your website. So it's both customizable and easy to set up. Not only do you not need to know how to code, you really barely need to know how to do anything with making websites. And I'm going to show you everything you need to know in this video, so even an absolute beginner can make a website in about 30 minutes or less. Now, there are also 4 main benefits I want to talk about. The first one, as I mentioned, this integrates very well with WordPress. This is a one-stop shop as the only AI native builder that comes with a full CMS built in. So you can build any layout, any animation, any interaction, and fully manage it however you want and then launch it instantly. Number 2, this is an all-in-one hosted stack. That means that you're getting your domain, you're getting your hosting, you're getting your SSL, that's your little security lock icon on the top, you're getting CDN, you're getting backups, and you're getting performance optimization all included in this package. So you don't need to worry about being like really stuck and siloed in some weird little platform, and you don't need to worry about connecting your domain to something else. Like, this is all in one spot, and it's also all using WordPress. Number 3, this is entirely your code. Like I said, you're not stuck in one little spot. If you decide that you want to migrate somewhere else, like it's a WordPress website, you're able to do that. So users have full code ownership of their websites. And number 4, this is actually really good for white labeling too. If you run an agency and you want to set up websites for somebody else, or we can talk about other options related to white labeling later on in the video. But with that being said, let's head over to my laptop, and I want to get started off in the description or the pinned comment. You could either hit Control and click on Windows, Command and click on Mac, or just copy and paste it in a new tab, and that'll bring you to a page that looks something like this. Now, obviously the big box in the middle is exactly what we're going to be using. We'll type in our prompt, we'll say generate your website. Maybe we can generate, let's say, a coffee shop website, just something really simple. You can go as detailed as you want. You can add a lot of information here. I'm just going to generate a coffee shop website. All right, you can see it's generating right there. And while it's doing that, I want to say at the time of making this video, if this changes, I'll update it in the description. But at the time of making this video, this needs to be a new account in order to access it. Any existing accounts won't have access to this new feature just yet. So if you already have a 10 web website and you want to try using this, just make a new account just to try this out, and then it should work just fine. So this brings us into the little site structure editor. So we can add, first of all, let me show you how this works. Each little black tab here is a different page. So it looks like we have a home page, we have a menu, we have an about us, and we have a contact page. So maybe I want to add another page. You can click on add page. We can choose the page title. So maybe this new page is going to be maybe our story. I don't know. It's kind of the same as about us. I'll delete this page later, but I just want to show you how you'd make one. So you can proceed. It makes an our story one, and it's generating based on what you called it, what it thinks you would want in there. So title, our coffee haven journey, and footer. By the way, we can change the name of this over here. So let's change the name of our website. Let's say this is going to be Mike's Coffee Shop. Website type, it's informational. Yes. Food and beverage. 5 pages is what we have right now. Let's go and see how this looks. So we can hit the space bar and click around if you want to drag this, or you can just scroll up and down. And if you want to add something else on a single page, so on the home page, we've got welcome to our coffee shop. That's going to be renamed, obviously. We've got the coffee selection. We've got pastry delights, bean originals. We can rearrange this, and maybe the testimonials are going to be higher up. Let's put those right here, and events and promotions, we can move that down. I'll maybe delete that later, and we can also add other sections in there. Maybe we want to add a section that is a contact section. I don't know if we have a contact section just yet. We can also have FAQs. Let's do FAQs. Let's throw that one in there, and we can choose what this is going to be. By the way, you can just prompt it and say, all right, this section we want to have questions related to whatever, and just tell it exactly what you want in this section. So let's say lots of people want to know when we are open, and if our, there we go, FAQs, generate FAQs, there we go. And once you have all of that, so you've got your site pages, you've got everything there, now we can go down here and say generate. By the way, we can always customize all of this later. Don't worry about spending too much time on this. This is just to make the general layout a little better, which already is so much better than most AI generated websites out there, which give you like just a kind of a template. This one, you can really customize it before it even generates anything. So let's click on generate. We are going to have to make a new account here. So I'm going to sign up with I'm just going to sign up with email. You could sign up with Gmail or Google if you want to sign in like that. I'll enter my email address. All right, now let's click on sign up. You can see a nice little progress on the right side, configuring, hosting, installing WordPress, preparing the builder environment, generating the website front end. Let's see what it looks like. So it looks like this is the page it made for us. You can see it added an image on the top. On the top right, we can select to edit. I'll talk more about that in a minute. We can look at this in mobile view or desktop view, and it is a mobile responsive website. So the same design looks good on both mobile and on desktop. We also have our different pages on the top, our menu page, our contact page. The different pages can be found on this little thing on the top. And then right now it's a totally clickable website in this little kind of window on the right. You're able to click on, that's going to open FaceTime. Let me not do that. But it's going, you can see you're able to like click on anything or review whatever. And if we click on select to edit, we can click on things and either use AI to edit that. As you can see, I'll try to zoom in on this so you can see what I'm typing down here. So I could just say like change contact info to whatever email. You can also type this out. You don't have to use AI to edit things. So I'm just showing you, you can use the AI to edit pretty much anything just by clicking on it and then clicking on the little AI like kind of text box below whatever you're clicking on, and then type whatever you want to change. I'll show you a lot more examples of that in just a minute, but you'll see on the left side, it is doing exactly what I said. It's updating the footer contact email to the new email I gave it. And let's give it a second and see what it does. So there we go. It edited that. Now we can change the phone number. And here, again, you can just click on it. You don't have to use the text box below for the AI. You can just type in the new phone number and then click on apply. And then that will update that automatically. By the way, whenever you do that, you want to click save. You get a little prompt on the bottom to save it. But we can change. Let's just actually add some more text there. It doesn't have to just be a phone number. I could say call us and then type in the phone number like that. Below that, if we want to edit this next text box, which was a phone number, I think I clicked on the wrong one originally, we can add maybe our address there. So we could say Broad Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and then actually let me add 123 Broad Street, say apply. So that's the location of our bistro here. And then over here, you see the menu, and this is where it gets more advanced, where you want to change more than just the text there. Maybe you want to add a link to our YouTube page. And this is, again, one that I would probably use the AI for. So I just type it out and say, here's the link I want to go to, change the menu so that this includes a link to our YouTube channel. And you just wait a minute, it'll do that, and it's just going to add it to the bottom. We'll test this out in a second. And you can see the progress on the left side, so it has like kind of the thought process of what it's doing. And by the way, I know I'm talking about the footer a lot right now. We will redesign the whole website in a minute, but you can see right there, YouTube. So if I go into, I deselect this little select to edit thing, so it's actually a responsive website, and now I could just click on it. Actually, it went away. Let's add that back by clicking preview. Let's restore that one. I think I accidentally mistakenly deleted that. But yeah, now we should be able to click on that. It'll open YouTube in a new page. Okay, so now back on the site, you'll see we are running low on credits on the top. So initially you get 3 days for free and I think 5 AI credits on the top. You can change all the text you want, but on the top you'll see 3 out of 5 AI credits have been used. Once we get to 5, I might play around with it a little bit more. Once we get to 5, we'll click on upgrade on the top. So on the top, you see right there, we used up all 5 of our free credits and, just to get started here. So if I click on upgrade, we can then select from a number of different plans. There's AI starter, AI premium. I'm just going to go with the starter plan. I think that's fine for most people. So you just enter your credit card information and subscribe to this. And there we go. We successfully upgraded. So with the starter plan, we're getting the builder, we're getting Google Cloud hosting, we're getting 10,000 monthly visitors, we're getting lots of storage, we're getting SSL and more. So that will bring you to this page right here. Now, this is our 10Web dashboard. We can click on manage. And then from here, you'll see on the left side, we have backups, we have domains, we have a home or main. So domains, that's probably the next thing. While we're here, we might as well get a domain for this. It is giving us a $30 credit towards a domain. So I could say maybe like Mike's Mike's Philly Coffee Shop or something like that.com. And of course, they're suggesting some right there, like brewbistro.com is apparently available. But I can search for the domain, and you are able to get domains elsewhere if you wanted to. But I always find it's easiest just to buy the domain directly from where you're hosting the website. It may be an extra couple dollars a year, but honestly, it saves a headache from having to sign into multiple places. If your credit card expires and you got to change it everywhere, just having everything in one location is a lot easier in my opinion. So we can enter our payment details, and there we go. We now have phillycoffeeshop.com. That is our domain, which is pretty great. And I can just say got it. And then from here we can go and add backups. So if you just click on backups on the bottom left, you can choose what time the backup is, and this is going to be included in your plan. You're able to get backups every single day automatically. So if anything happens on your website, you accidentally break it or whatever, then you can just go and restore a backup from a previous day. So I'm going to change this and make it start at 6 o'clock every day, kind of just at the end of the workday. Anything I forgot to save, it'll be saved automatically then. Kind of just the end of the workday, anything I saved, that, you know, whatever, like it'll be ready to go, backed up at the end of the day. So now we can check out our domain. We do need to confirm our email address, and then you'll be able to make this a primary domain. We'll come back to this a little bit later, and we will make phillycoffeeshop.com the main domain. But for now, I want to point out, by the way, you can see white label over here. I mentioned this earlier. You are able to do some white labeling. So let's go back to editing this site though. So if we just go up to the top, so here you can see the WordPress dashboard. If I just click on the WordPress icon right there from 10Web, it'll bring us over to the WordPress dashboard. And by the way, I mean, WordPress has some pretty tiny font here. Let's make this a little bit bigger so it's easier for you to see. Maybe like 125. That looks good. So this is the WordPress dashboard. If you've never used WordPress before, which watching this video, I assume you haven't, we have everything you need pretty much on the left side. So pages are going to be pretty much every web page you have that's permanent. So essentially just not blog posts. It'll be like your home page and stuff like that. Dashboard is where you can see updates, any kind of plugins that need to be updated. We have posts. So posts are going to be any kind of blog posts you make, similar to a page, but that's going to be more so like stories or whatever is trying to rank on Google. That's more of a typical blog post. We've got media. You pretty much never have to worry about media there. That's just all the media used anywhere on your website. We have appearance down here. So this right now is using the WordPress AI builder theme. I wouldn't worry about that. You don't want to change that, but we can add plugins. And plugins are incredibly useful. I have different videos just showing you, the best plugins for WordPress. They could be security ones. They could be different integrations with different platforms. But let's go down to settings. There are some important settings. One is the site title. I want to change the site title from the default one to Mike's Coffee Shop. We can add a tagline there, and we can add our site icon. So now you can see in site icon, I'm just going to select files. So I have a file on my laptop, or you could just click and drag one over. So there we go. I have one. This is not the right aspect ratio. Typically you want a smaller square one, like not a huge one. So I'm going to crop this in. This is not a great photo, but you can see right there. I like how WordPress now shows us. There's kind of been an update recently. They show us what it looks like when it's on top of the browser, because ultimately that's where it's going to mostly be used. So at the top of, you look at any website like Amazon or whatever, you'll see the little logo on the top of your tab. Down in settings, we can also go to permalinks and change that. I like to leave it on this one right here. So it's your domain.com/ whatever the name of your blog post is or your page is. So it'll be like phillycoffeeshop.com/ about, for example, to go to the about page. But speaking of that, if we go back up to the top and we click on edit for the home page, edit with the AI builder, it'll bring us back to this AI builder. And I can talk a little bit more about how to use this. The good thing is it is really intuitive, but I want to show you just how much you're actually able to do with the AI. So I could say add an FAQ section, and I could just hit enter and it'll do that. But I actually want to scroll down and kind of review what else is on this page. This is what they gave us right now, the home page. You can see core values. I don't know if I really need that, but let's change the footer again. So let's say the footer is going to be light brown. So I don't have to go into any kind of settings for that. I don't have to change the theme. I just say change the footer to light brown, and it will do that. Sometimes it is also helpful to give even more instructions. So rather than just light brown, feel free to give like the exact text color you want, or really describe what the color is, or talk about like an image or a background or whatever you want. But let's see what it comes up with just light brown here. And by the way, it should also be able to recognize what text looks good on what background. So I think it'll probably change the text on this one, so it's a good contrast. So there we go. You can see on the left side actually says updated to light brown with text to dark brown. Yeah, look at that. So you can see dark text is very readable. That's a little bit more of a light brown than I wanted, but again, you can always be as specific as you want and add that information in there. So let's see what else we want to change here. I want to edit this, maybe the core values. We could just select it and actually change it by text. So I can change the text here. And by the way, you can also use AI to write the text for you, like not just write the text you want it to, but just, generate text to go there. That's something that AI is quite good at. Then we can say change the color of this entire block to dark brown. And again, it's going to be able to change the colors of things quite easily. You can see it's changing the color, it's changing the background, or it should change like a good contrast for the text. You can see the text is now a light color. And again, that looks pretty good. But having the hex codes for all of your colors for your logo and things like that would definitely be very helpful. Now, if you don't like anything, I could just select things. And instead of typing like next to the little AI box, you see the trash can, just click on the trash can and you can delete anything you want to on your site. So click on this, click on the trash can, or actually I'm going to keep this and just change what it says. We're going to say, I don't know, just a little tagline here. Mike's Coffee Shop has like the best coffee beans or whatever. Then up here, we can change the hours. So you can just select this and change like, whatever opening and closing times are. So now if I don't like this image, we can also edit images either with AI and just have new ones generated. So just say change this image, or we can upload our own images. But let's see what it comes up if I just say change this image, and then we can be more specific later, and I'll show an example of that. But just saying change this image, it should still know that we're on the same theme. It'll come up with something kind of coffee shop-esque. And even though this one was good right now, I think this is very much like a coffee shop, but a little bit larger than what I would like for this little bistro coffee shop style. So changing image in the cozy atmosphere section, it knows it's doing that, updating the image, and then you can see, there we go. Now we have honestly a very different decor here. It looks a little fancier, but still definitely coffee shop. You see the coffee mugs there. This is more like, honestly, I'm not going to comment on the style because I don't know what this architecture style is called, but it's really nice. It's definitely a different vibe here. So let's go and edit this and say this time we want to change this image again and make it a close-up image of a coffee cup with, or actually maybe a latte. Let's say close-up image of a latte, a fancy latte, and just say go. See what it does. Actually no, with warm lighting and a wooden table. Make it kind of like a warm coffee shop feel to it. So let's hit enter, and again, it's going to be generating the image. Let's see what it can come up with for this. So this is entirely AI generated, which is really impressive because looking at that image, you would assume it was taken by somebody. Like AI, like generative LLMs have come such a long way, especially with generating images and videos, that they're actually very usable now in websites like this. So you can see on the left side, changing the image. So it's removing the old one, and look at that. That is awesome. That's exactly what we want. And that's the kind of thing that could fit into kind of any coffee shop website. Up here, the pastries and snacks, we can edit that. Same idea here. But here, if you wanted to, you can actually choose an image. I don't have any good images to swap out, but just showing you could swap out an image just like that by choosing an image instead of generating one with AI. Scrolling up, there is so much else we could change, but let's change the background on the very top. So I like the way the background's set up, but let's change, by the way, I forgot to rename this like Mike's, rename this Mike's Coffee Shop, say apply, save that on the bottom. Always be sure to save your setting or save your changes. Now, I don't like how this is all like two different lines. I want to make this text a little smaller so that it always fits in just one line. So I can hit enter on that, and you'll see on the left side, it understands what I mean by that. So it's going to tell you probably like, look at that, making text smaller to fit in one line. So it told it exactly what I wanted to, but it reworded it. So it definitely understands what you're telling it to do. It really understands the intent of things, really, is what I'm trying to say. All right, so it did that, but it didn't actually change the text size. Sometimes it lags a little bit until it actually shows us the difference. So let's move on with something else, and I think it'll pop up in like a minute or two. I think you'll see what I'm talking about. Sometimes it just doesn't show it immediately. All right, so now let's edit the background of this image right here. Actually, let's go up there and click publish and connect our domain. Let's cancel. We don't want to add a new domain. Let's say cancel. And then here, this is what I was talking about before. And so now that I verified my email, by the way, you want to do that, just go over here, click on change, and you're going to confirm that this is your new primary domain. Then going back to the other tab, we can just click on publish changes, and our website should be up and ready to go. Let's just give this a second for the domain. There we go. So now it's a primary, where it's published, posted. We actually have two domains technically going to this website. But yeah, phillycoffeeshop.com, that's the primary one. That's what we're going to be using. And that should be ready to go. So now if we go to a new tab and type in phillycoffeeshop.com, You can also type in /wp-admin. That's how you sign into the WordPress dashboard, or you can just go through 10web in the future if you want to. Easy, honestly, easier to just go through 10web, but just showing you can do that if you want. So let's change the background of this image right here of the banner on the top, the first section. So let's just change it to, I think there's too many people going like in this image, and I want to change it to something else. So maybe a coffee shop with warm lighting. I like the ambient lighting there, and lots of wood. I like the wood vibe in a coffee shop, and we'll see what it comes up with. And if you don't like it, you can always switch back if you don't like this, but yeah, let's see what it does. All right, so this made it, again, kind of a different energy on this one, a little bit like a hotel coffee shop kind of thing. So again, be as specific as you want with how these are going to look. It nailed it though with the wooden walls, wooden tables, warm lighting, and definitely fewer people, exactly what I told it to do. But I might try this a couple more times and just see, what's actually going to look best for the top of our website. And ultimately, that's a crash course on how to use 10web to design your website. Obviously, there's a lot more to do with this site. I'm going to go through, change the text, change the buttons, change the backgrounds. And the good thing is I can either edit things myself or use AI to do that. If I want to move it around, I want to change, anything you want, just natural language is the easiest way to customize your entire website. So if you enjoyed this video, consider getting started with the link down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.